suppose welcome back to Journeys in Time, and welcome if you're new. So first thing I want to do today is to apologise for not being around. As some of you might know, we've had some troubles with one of our kitties. We've had her up to vet hospitals for scans and scopes and all the rest of that, trying to figure out what's going on with her. So we've been quite busy with that. She's doing a little better. We found some ways to make her a little more comfortable. So she is doing a little better, but we still haven't figured out what's going on. So more tests are needed. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on that, guys. And the next thing I want to do is to give a big shout out to the wonderful Cheryl Talifus. So Cheryl sent me some happy mail during the week, and it was so sweet, so sweet. It made my day to get this. So Cheryl has sent me this beautiful, beautiful photograph in a frame. Now, there's a little story behind this. I absolutely adore doors, and I have a Pinterest board all about beautiful doors. And Cheryl found this out a few months ago, and she has sent me a photograph of a door that she took herself. And this was taken at Martha's Vineyard. And isn't it just so, so pretty? Love that blue colour and the way the light is hitting it and all the rest of it. Absolutely gorgeous, Cheryl. Beautiful photograph. Love the frame you chose as well. And she also sent me some playing cards with doors on and with some Irish pub signs on. So yeah, they're awesome. So Cheryl, thank you so very much. That was so very sweet of you, and it will definitely be finding a place in my craft room. I have a couple of spots kind of eyed up for it, and we'll see where it lands, where it looks best. Okay, so that is that. And on to what we are doing today. So today's make is a Waterfall, a Trifold flip pocket. All those things. Okay, so I called it a Waterfall because it has these three panels and it looks like a waterfall. But when we open it up, it opens up like this, and then it opens up like this, where we have a journaling space, and then the whole thing opens down as well for a larger journaling space. Okay, so very simple make, and we are working with the Fall Friends kit again as for this month. This is our kit that we're working with for the month. And if you're not aware of the Fall Friends kit, it is a collaboration kit between myself and Rachel over at Rachel Bella Crafts. So I have one half of the kit in my Etsy shop, and Rachel has the other half of the kit in her Etsy shop. And in each half of the kits there's 10 pages of pages and 10 pages, or sorry, 5 pages of ephemera. So altogether there are 30 pages. Okay, so that is where you can get those. They will be linked below, obviously. There are also freebies available for the kits on our Ko-fi pages, both mine and Rachel's, and they will also be linked below. So make sure you hop over and grab those freebies, and they are coordinating with the kit. Okay, so I think that is it. Oh no, one last thing. So we are running challenges on the Junk Journal Trading Post with Rachel Bella Crafts Facebook group, and anybody who enters those challenges and takes part for the month will be in with a chance to win some prizes at the end. Now, Rachel has all the details. I think there is a journal up for grabs and some digikits, or a digikit. I'm not sure yet what way that is. So yeah, so make sure you go over there as well. That will also be linked below. Go over, take part in the challenges. This video today is going to be one of the challenges. So if you do make this, make sure you hop over, join the event on the page, and post your picture to be in with the chance to win. So, like I said, this is what we were making today, and let's get going. Okay, so the first thing we need is our base piece, and I have a sheet of the kit paper here. It is one of the backing sheets in the kit, and it is one-sided. So I'm just going to trim down my edges and get this cut down to where I need it. I will give you the measurements for that very shortly. Okay, so I have cut my paper down to 11¼ inches this way, and that was just taking off the edges, and it is 5¼ inches across. Okay, so in centimeters that is 28.7 centimeters or 13.3 centimeters across. Okay, so when I was doing the first one of these, I kind of did my fold very arbitrarily. I just kind of did this and got it to where I wanted it to be, and then smushed it all down flat. Okay, and if you're happy to do it that way, by all means go ahead and do it that way. I am going to give you some measurements, and I'm going to score it with the scoreboard and all the rest of that, so that everybody can kind of see the different ways to do it and ways that might suit them to do it. Okay, but that is what I did for the first one, and that is how I would normally do it. Okay, so today I am going to do with the scoreboard. Now, I am working with the side that I want on the inside of the piece facing me. It doesn't make a difference which way you score it at this point, because I'm not flipping over and back for the folds, because I'm only working with paper. If you're working with card, that might be a consideration for you. I would say start your first fold on the opposite side, the one that you want on the outside, and then flip it for each fold if you're using card. Okay, so I don't like to use the tool that came with my scoreboard. I feel that it just makes the lines too wide and gives it too much wiggle room for inconsistencies. So I use one of these little ball tools, and our first score mark is going to be at 2.5 inches. Okay. Our next score mark needs to be 3 5/8 of an inch along, which means we need to score at 6 1/8. So in centimeters, your first score mark is at 6.2 centimeters, and your second score mark is going to be 9.25 centimeters away from that. Okay, so our next score mark is going to be 2 7/8 inches from that again, which will be 9 inches, or that would be 7.2 centimeters from this line here. So 9 inches, and that leaves us with 2 1/4 inches at this end, or 5.8 centimeters at this end. Okay, so that's our scoring all done. So for the folding, we need to fold this one down. Or sorry, yeah, for the folding, I thought I said scoring there. And we need to fold this one up, and then this one folds back down like so. So that is what we have at the moment. You can see our little waterfall edges. Now I am going to get some inking done here, because I am using the single-sided paper. I do need to ink to make sure that none of those white parts are showing through, so I'll get that done very quickly. Okay, so I've inked all my edges and all my crease lines. I haven't inked in here because I will be putting, I will be decorating those panels anyway. So, oh, wrong way around. So that's what we have right now. Okay, so that's it for the folding, guys. That's all done. So the next thing is decorating the panels. Now I do have some pieces prepped and ready here. I have one of the kit pages cut down slightly. Now I cut the top line here just to where I wanted it here, where I wanted the squirrel to start on the page. And I'm going to glue this down, and I'm going to trim it here afterwards, okay? And I actually have that done the wrong way around again. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? We want this on the inside, okay? There we go. That's better. That's more like it. Okay, so let's get this panel on, and I am covering the whole panel here with this. So let's get some glue down and get gluing. Okay, and let's get this trimmed off. Now I'm going to keep this bit because we are going to be using that probably down here. I would obviously take away the squirrel's feet, but it almost looks like a continuation of the page. Okay, so for this one I want to put some of this beautiful foil paper. This is just wrapping paper that I've had in my stash for a long time, and I thought this was the perfect project to use it with. It works really well with the colours, and it's a nice soft autumn colour. And I'm just going to layer this on the panel. I'm coming in roughly 1/4 of an inch from each edge, so I need to get that cut down, and I'm just going to use my ruler to tear this one. So we have different textures going on. So pretty. I've had this paper for a long time and really wanted to use it, and I'm just so happy to have been able to pull it out and use it for this kit. Absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm going to ink this a little before I put it down. And I don't want to press too hard on this piece because it is embossed, and we should keep that nice embossing. Okay, so that's what that looks like right now. And the last piece I want to put down is this one. Now, we don't want the squirrel's butt, for want of a better word, but I would like to maybe keep the acorn. So I'm just going to tear around here. So that's what we have. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to ink the edge of this, and then I'm going to find something to go behind it all the way down. And I have lots of offcuts here from the kit, so where I fussy cut things and things like that. Just wondering, will some of this work? So I'm going to fiddle around with this for a moment and I will come back to you guys, okay? Okay, so I've gotten that all glued down, trimmed and inked. Now I did run into a little bit of trouble with my glue stick. When I put it down, it just put glue absolutely everywhere. The napkin piece that I put down just started looking dirty around the edges and all the rest of that. So all I'm going to do with that, it just has a bit of a mess around here and around here. And just to show you guys that when things go wrong, you don't necessarily have to scrap the piece and start again. You can just cover it up. So I'm just going to put a couple of labels here. I think that looks actually really cool. And it takes away the dirty look from that glue around the edges of the tissue piece. So these are the kind of situations that I relish when I'm crafting. I love coming up with situations like this. I don't do it deliberately, obviously, but when they do come up, I take advantage of them because I would never have thought to put those two labels there. I think they look really cool in there, and I'm very happy with that. So let's get those glued down. And I'm going to use my regular glue for this because I don't want a repeat debacle. I'll have to look at that glue stick and the packet that it came in and see if they're all like that. It just seems very very sticky and very clumpy, so yeah, not ideal. And I had just changed it, so I was going from a different type of glue stick to this one, and of course I just automatically used it the way I was using the other one. I wasn't concerned about being heavy-handed, you know. Anyway, onwards. Take it on the chin and keep going. Get that down there, and I'm putting that right to the edge. Okay, so I'm going to leave those dry before I fold this back down again. So that's that panel dealt with. I'm going to fold it back like this. I want something to go across here. I want a quote or something to go across there. Now in the other one I used an Edith Holden quote, so let's see if we can find something from good old Edith. She's always good for quotes and things like that. Okay, so I've chosen this poem that was in the Edith Holden books. It is by Robert Browning. It says, by the rose flesh mushrooms undivulged last evening, nay, in today's first June, yon sudden coral nipple bulged, where a freaked fawn-coloured flaky crew of toadstools peep indulged. Now, there are no mushrooms on this, and I kind of struggled with that a little bit, but I adore the colour imagery in this, and I think it works really well with the colours of the kit and this in particular, so I'm going to use this. I'm normally quite pedantic about things like this. I wouldn't be able to use it unless I was using mushrooms, but I'm trying to loosen up a bit about things like that. So this is good practice today. I'm going to tear around the whole thing, ink it up and stick it down. Didn't realise there was an image on the back of this, but I probably just as well I didn't check because I may not have used it. Oi, what do we like? I'm going to try to leave the poet name in there as well, but we'll see, that might have to come off. Yeah, I think it's actually going to have to come off, okay. Sorry, Mr. Browning. Now, I don't want that piece seen below the flap here, so that's why I am checking that. I'm actually going to bring the whole thing right up to this corner, and I think it looks fine like that. Let's get it inked. Okay, so I think we could probably fold these now. Oh no, look what I did. Ah! Okay. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so that's what we have at the moment, and I am loving how these labels look. I'm really chuffed with that, to be honest. And there we have the inside of our piece ready for writing. So I think the last thing left to do is to decorate this top panel and put on the closure. Now, for the closure, I am using two pieces from the kit. These little circles come in the kit. They come in two sizes. This is the larger one, and I have half of the smaller one here. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to attach the larger one here, and I'm going to attach the smaller one just by a line of glue at the bottom down here. Yeah, that'll look fine. And then when they're attached, this larger one can slip underneath the smaller one to keep it closed. Okay, so let's get the smaller one down, and because I have a little bit of work to do with the larger one, I just want to get some ink on here. Just a line of glue along this straight edge here. And I should have done this prior. I want to make sure that it is fairly central because it can look very off if it's not. So we have 5 1/4. Our midpoint is 2 3/8. That does not look correct. Let's try that again. So we have 5 1/4, 2 1/2, 2 5/8 rows. Yeah. There we go. That looks a bit better. Okay. Okay, so that is in place. Now for this piece, I don't want this just showing white on the back. You could just ink it up and stamp it or do something like that. You could just back it straight up, but I want to do it similar to the other one where, let's see, I'll show you guys. This circle piece is overlapping here, but it's tying in with the back of the piece because I use the same paper. So this paper piece is coming to this side of it, and then this cardboard piece is coming, so it's like slotted onto it almost. Okay, so let's get that done. Now have some of our paper left over here, and I'm going to try to get this onto one of the little sunflowers, just because we can. Try and get it centered a little bit, okay? So I know that I want this going this way. I'm trying to make sure that this is straight, this little star shape. On the bottom one I have it turned like this, and on the top one I want it turned like that. So I'm just going to put glue on one part of this, just a little bit here. I'm going to go the back of this piece to the back of this piece, and I'm just holding it up to the light so that I can see where I'm positioning it, and I'm going to center it on one of our little sunflowers on our paper. Okay, that stuck down and cut around it. Now as you can see, I've only got that one little piece stuck down, and that makes it possible for us to get our cuts done the way we want them, and to get it adhered to our piece the way we want it. Now I will just point out as well that this piece is actually printed on cardstock and the backing piece is paper. Just for your information, I would advise using at least one piece of cardstock as opposed to paper here. Okay, so we want to get this into place. Now I need to make sure that when we get this in here, that it comes down just far enough to be able to slip under that other circle piece for the closure. Okay, so I'm going to position it around about there, making sure that it's central the way I want it. In fact, we could actually take it off and do this. Get it positioned where we want it, like this. Close down our piece and press it into place. Okay, so that's our closure done. I want our corners rounded on this top flap here. And the next thing I want to do, and I think it is the last thing, see how that looks? Looks really cute up there. The last thing is to just get something up here. Now I used a Tracy Fox label the last time. It was perfect because it had fox on it. But I doubt I have a squirrel one. It had Vulpes virginius, red foxes. So I'm going to have a look through my Tracy Fox labels, see what I come up with, and I'll be back to you guys. Okay, so I went through my Tracy labels. I came up with these three, and I quite like how they look together. So I'm going to get those stuck down there. Actually, I'm going to get these stuck together first, and then we're going to do something else with them. Now, a trick for getting these kinds of things stuck together in the way that you want them, get them arranged, flip them over without moving them, then take your pencil and draw your outlines where they overlap. And that will give you your exact positioning. Okay. Okay, so the next part of this process, I don't want this glue wet, so I'm going to go out and make myself a coffee while this dries. And I'll be back to you guys within a couple of seconds. Okay, you guys, so I went off and I got my coffee, and I came back and I started doing a little bit more, and I forgot to put the camera back on. So, but all you've missed is I have 3 coats of heat embossing powder on these pieces and glued them down. That's literally all I have done, okay? So, that is how it looks right now. Let's see what it will look like in our journal. Okay, so let's find a little space for our beautiful little squirrel. wonder. Because I need to do something with this page anyway. Okay, that's a possibility. Could go on there, which is also a possibility. Okay, so it's either here. I'm sorry, you guys were out of frame that whole time. I'm so sorry. Anyway, it's either here or here. I quite like it there. I think I actually prefer it here. Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to put it down here. Let's get this glued down. And that looks awesome. Love it. Fabulous. I'm really enjoying those pieces. Okay. Alright guys, that is your make for today. That is your challenge for the Rach and Bella, the Junk Journal Trading Post with Rach and Bella Crafts Facebook group, to make one of these waterfall trifold flip pockets. I think that's what I'm going to call it. And actually, now that I think about it, it's actually quadruple fold. But I'm going to stick with trifold because it sounds nicer. But anyway, okay, and it does make a pocket because we only glued it on 3 sides. Okay, that is it for me for today, guys. I will talk to you all very, very soon in the next video. Bye.